Starting.
Okay, we are live. All right, we are at a secure, undisclosed location since Mike Owens does not want us to say we're at the picking post today. But anyway, we're with the Isaacs. We have Ben, Becky, Sonia, and Lily. And I'm Mark Huber from WVSM. And they're here, going to be performing at the picking post tonight. Mike didn't want to say that because it's sold out. But we're glad to have you guys here and ladies.
Thanks for having us.
Yes, thank you. Thank you.
Y'all travel a lot, singing a lot. How many days out of the year do y'all actually, get on the road?
It's probably easier to calculate how many days we don't sing because
Okay. How many
we're
days do
gone
you
all
not
the
sing?
time. No, probably we're on the road about 125 days a year or something like that. What do you think?
Performance-wise, probably 90, 85 to 90, but that doesn't count the traveling days to get there, and that doesn't count studio days either. So we stay busy. We're
Okay.
busy. So.
Yeah, definitely. Now you have a studio, don't you? In Nashville?
I do in Hendersonville. I have a place called Ben's Den, and I've been blessed to record a lot of great records there. So, I love it.
Now, do y'all record there as well?
We
We
are.
do.
We're working on the new album, getting ready to start the vocals there, and we've done a lot of stuff over there. It's really nice.
Get family support. Then.
Family
That's great.
discount.
Right.
That's important. Yeah, Ben's very talented behind the scenes. He does a lot of that work. And on the road, he's does so much work. We couldn't do it without Ben.
He's produced a lot of big acts, like the Baker Vocal Band, and the Oak Ridge Boys, and Jimmy Fortune, Tim Menzies. Who else am I missing? Cherry
Becky Stock.
Holmes.
You
Who's
know,
that?
I can
Bradley
tell
Walker.
that y'all are definitely family and siblings. The
How
way
can you
Becky
tell?
is doing
He's
family.
aggravating. Wait till she talks.
That's how my sister would be doing
Right.
it. So,
He's supposed to hold the microphone in his own interview, but he's purposely making me hold it, so I'm helping him out.
Oh, well, we were talking earlier. I've been in Southern gospel music, playing it from the other side. I don't have any talent. The only talent I have is pushing the play button on the CD player. Now the computer, but you all are so talented. It just blows my mind. The instruments that you can play, the harmony that you have. We pulled up a lot of videos last night, and I was letting them see.
Oh, that's
sing and
embarrassing.
all. Oh no, they
It
love
is.
it. How did you come about with all this stuff? I mean, just
How did
born
the
into
Isaacs
it?
get started?
Sure.
You want me to start, and you can finish it?
Yeah, Cliff Notes version.
Cliff Note, okay.
Yeah, this is a long story.
So, I'm Jewish by birth, and my parents were both Holocaust survivors. And I grew up in New York City after my parents and I came to America. And I was always in show business. My mother was a big fan of Broadway. So I always loved song and dance. And so I always wanted a career in theater. So when I was older in college, I met a young lady, recorded an album on Columbia Records, a folk album. And that was kind of my beginning into music. I met a young man in Gertie Spoke City in Greenwich Village in 1968. And he was a bluegrass performer with a group called Frank Wakefield and the Greenbrier Boys. We were a folk act, but we fell in love and got married in 1970. And then in 1971, I had my son Ben. Right before that
72,
year,
Mom.
I'm sorry, 72.
Wow.
So you're
So
the
wait a minute, I started to say 1971.
But you
that's-
didn't.
I didn't. Let me back up. 1971, we got saved.
There you go.
Then in 1972, my son was born,
I can't
and then
believe you don't know.
Here we go.
I'm your
I gotta
most
have my-
favorite child, and you can't even remember when I was born.
Wow, apparently not.
he's my son. Anyway, and then Sonia was born, and then Becky was born. So our children grew up on the road. Their father and I were already traveling with the band at the time because we were both performers. So they were born into it. And if they couldn't sing, we just threw them back somewhere else. We were so blessed because they sang harmony since they were 4 years old. And then we'd stand him up on a chair when he was about 4 years old, and he sang harmony with his dad and I. And I was just blessed. Then as they got a little older, they started picking up instruments. They've never really had lessons. They've been self-taught
Just
pretty much.
learn on your own.
Pretty
We learned how to
much.
play on stage. Seriously,
And,
they would give us an instrument and say, "Here you go," and we would stand in the background on stage.
That is
Yeah, we
awesome.
learned- yeah, mom plays folk guitar. Our dad plays a lot of different instruments, and he would show us like the basics, and then kind of learned on our own and from listening to other artists, and he's right. You know, when he thought we were good enough to play 3 chords, he'd throw us in the back, and we would learn and get comfortable on stage. But we learned quickly. We really did, because when I learned to play the mandolin, I was just a new player, and the mandolin player that we had at the time, who's with the Primitive Quartet now, Randy Fox, he decided to leave, and I literally only had a couple of weeks to really get good enough to be the front mandolin player, and so that's the way we kind of all did it. We just all were thrown into that. 13, 12, 13, I don't know, 12
But you
or 13.
played a little bit when you were 7.
Just a little, and then I got interested in dolls and sports and things, so I kind of laid it down. But we're all pretty much, like she said, self-taught.
And it wasn't a plan. I mean, this is nothing we just sat down and mapped out. It just happened. It's God's plan, but we just fell into it.
Well, you have been blessed. God definitely has blessed y'all with talent. You know, with all the instruments, the vocals, and everything, harmony. I mean, it's awesome. Again, you know, I've been playing your music for however long, 30 years, 40, however long y'all been together as Isaacs.
Yes.
And it's just it's awesome. We pulled up a video last night of Becky from what was that, 1992, I think it was. Is not this the land of Beulah?
When I was like 15.
Yes.
The golden days.
Awesome. I mean, vocals. Even at that that age. I mean, of course your vocals have matured, but I don't know what I'm trying to say. It just even then and now. I mean, it's just magical. I guess it's just awesome. We've been truly blessed. And you travel a good bit. Tonight, again, this show is sold out. But now tomorrow night you're going to be in Scottsboro, right?
Tomorrow morning.
Tomorrow morning?
Yes.
Oh wow.
9 and 11.
Yeah. 9 a.m. and 11 a.m.
And this church, this pastor is very dear to us. They're very, very close friends of ours. And the Well in Scottsboro. And so we were coming through, and they invited us, and we said yes. We just wanted to be in church with them. So we're singing a few songs, and Pastor Greg DeVries are going to be preaching. So it was just something we really wanted to do.
Yeah, he's our road.
Pastor Greg is our road pastor. So he, would you stop with that microphone back?
Do you have the most trouble out of these two?
Just
yeah.
this one.
I just want to be sure he's heard.
This one has always been my pain ever
Thorn
since she
in
was
your
born.
flesh.
She says she's the shy one.
Right.
Tell
I'm
him
the
what happened to
baby.
your lip, Becky.
And so, like, I never
Bless.
got heard. I never get to speak. You'll see tonight, I'll have like an opportunity for 10 seconds to say something.
It was, yeah.
It's
Ben busted her lip once when she was a little girl.
Oh,
He
he
stole
did.
he stole her baby doll, and she
Well,
was
just making
chasing
her
These
him.
mean
and she
stories
fell and
come out.
busted
Okay,
her
now
lip.
we learned the real
These
story.
two have always had the, I'm always the good child.
Sonia's always been the line.
The
Like
peacemaker.
Becky's on one side and I'm on the other, and Sonia has always been the line that you do not cross.
The middle child. That's
See,
what
I'm
we do,
the
right?
brother he never had, and
That's
I'm
a
her
truth.
sister. I'm like kind of
Well, anyway, we got squirreled there, but sorry. But yes, tomorrow at the Well Church in Scottsboro, Alabama, in the morning, we'll do maybe 3 or 4 songs for the 9 a.m. and the 11 a.m. Please come out and be with us. We don't sing a lot in the morning, but you're going to hear an amazing message, and the service is guaranteed to bless you because this church is just on fire and
Love it.
our kind of people. So come out and be with us in Scottsboro.
You've got anything else? Again, I don't want to, tie you up because I know y'all got to get ready.
Well, there is something that I'd like to tell. Being Jewish, we go to Israel every year. I mean, how many? We've gone 15 times, and we're going back again June of 2020. And last year we got to do something so special. I'd love will you tell them, Sonia, what we've decided? This has been on our hearts for a long time. We put legs to this mission last year.
Well, first of all, we love to go to Israel. If you've always wanted to go to Israel, please go with the Isaacs in June of 2020. And our friends Karen Peck and New River and Mike and Kelly Bowling are going to be co-hosting with us. And we may be adding others. We aren't sure at this point, but for sure them. And it's going to be 11 days. It's awesome. And once you've been to Israel as a Christian, it just, you feel at home there, and there's so much peace. It's really contradiction to what you think you would feel being in a place that is under, so much attack, but you feel so much peace being in Jesus' homeland, and you know that you're in sacred ground, and it's protected because God's there, and That's his homeland. And so, you know, we found out when we went a few years ago that there are still a lot of Holocaust survivors that live in Israel. Mom's parents came to America after they were liberated from the concentration camps. Some of our family actually lives in Israel and went to Israel. So it's very special and dear to our hearts to bless the Holocaust survivors. And so last year was Israel's 70th anniversary as a nation. So when we went, we didn't want to go empty-handed. We wanted to give back. And so we decided to sponsor a free concert in Jerusalem, and we invited the people to come. We invited 150 Holocaust survivors. We invited 100 Israeli soldiers. And we invited an orphanage, and we visited an orphanage, and we were able to raise $100,000 last year within 4 months' time, and we took it with us and gave it to all these groups, the Holocaust survivors, the Israeli soldiers, and the orphans. And the Lord told us to bless the end and the beginning and the end. So that's why we chose the children in the orphanage and the Holocaust survivors. And then we said we need to bless their protectors. And so it felt so good to be able to just give and honor them and bless them and be a part of that. And they told us, many of them told us that people come to Israel for what they can get, but not many people come here to give. And it meant a lot. So we started a nonprofit organization last year, and it took some time, of course, to get all that set up. But it's called the Fishman Isaacs Israel Initiative. Fishman is Mom's maiden name, her parents' name. And then, of course, Isaacs Israel Initiative. And it's FIII for short, or if you're Jewish, it's FIII. Don't get that. FIII.org if you want to look it up. And it's just amazing. So we're really enjoying being able to share that and offer people an opportunity to help us bless Israel when we go back in June of 2020. We want to raise the bar. Our goal is to raise $1 million that we can take over there and give away to needy organizations and people that are already helping Israeli people. And it's just amazing. Israel's such a beautiful country, and we really want to be able to help preserve the history there. You know, the Jesus history and the Jewish side of things. The Yad Vashem Holocaust Museum. Mom had a great experience this year. Her parents are in a couple of the Holocaust memorial places, but they were not in the one in Israel. They have lots of people in them, but she was able to enter their names into the Hall of Remembrance there. And so we just have a lot of connection and ties with Israel. So if you're interested in blessing Israel, the Lord said, I'll bless those that bless my people. And that's already true. And one example is, you're talking about Is Not This the Land of Beulah, and songs like From the Depths of My Heart that were the first songs that you all ever played on the radio, the Isaacs, 25 years ago. We went in about a year and a half ago and recorded a whole new album of these old songs, and we called it Favorites Revisited by Request. The week we got back from Israel, from going and giving all of this money, we got a phone call that album had been nominated for a Grammy. And we thought, Lord, you know, you do bless us in so many different ways, and I don't know that was a direct reaction from that, but it felt like it was. It felt like God said, here's a little gift for you because you've been good to my people. So anyway, we just like to share that everywhere we go, and we really need the help. We need the support. Tax deductible gift, FIII.org, and go to Israel with us.
So this is kind of like some of the artists do, like the cruise. You take the trip to Israel and
Yes.
carry people with you.
Correct.
So if they want to sign up,
Yes.
they can go to that web
Absolutely.
address.
TheIsaacs.com would be good. You can find information there how to get more info for the Israel trip in June. We just got that site set up so people can register to go on the trip. It's going to be amazing. We have services at all the holy sites, the Garden Tomb. We go on the Sea of Galilee and have a service on a boat out in the Sea of Galilee. They call it a Jesus boat because it's a replica of the ones they used back then. We have a baptismal service in the Jordan River. We have prayer time, private reserved prayer time in the Garden of Gethsemane, where Jesus himself prayed. And you know, for us, it's not about just, you can go with different people and you can see the sights and you can have your own personal experience. But what we want to do is we want to go and as a group worship God together in these places. We want to feel his presence like he felt God's presence there when he was here. And so for us, it's more than just taking notes and pictures. It's about walking away from Israel with a deeper walk with the Lord. And so it really brings us so much joy to be able to be a part of that for people that it's on their bucket list. They've always wanted to go to Israel. And not to be political, but this is a really good time to go. You know, President Trump is really for Israel, and so you're protected and you're safe, and so it's just a good time to visit Israel. Come and go with us.
I would love to go.
Come
Let's
on,
go.
come
Well,
on.
there's only one problem.
What?
You have to get on an airplane to get there.
Oh, you don't fly?
I don't
Will, are
fly.
you a good swimmer?
If God wanted me to fly, He would give me wings.
Uh-oh. Well, if God wanted you to roll, would He give you wheels?
Yes.
Ooh.
I don't like her.
A lot more people die in car wrecks than they do plane crashes. Let's just go.
Yeah,
Let's
that's
just be
true.
real about it.
Yeah,
She
that's
just
true.
called you out.
It is worth
Yeah, really.
it is worth being a little scared for 10.5 hours to get over there on a plane, and it will. I mean, it'll change your life.
That's
You know,
why they
we've
make
had-
medicine.
That's
We've had people travel with us, elderly people, that have never been anywhere in their lives, ever. They don't know how to maneuver, getting around or doing something like that. The company that we use to go with, Inspiration Tours, is so great because you can once you get to New York, you don't have to have your brain. Everything is done for you. We're together with everyone at the same. I mean, a lot of places you go, you're on your own to go here. You're on your own. We're not.
Israel, we're all together.
We stay with the people the whole time. So for people that don't normally travel a lot, flying together with all the people is comforting. Being on the buses together, doing things. So I think that's it's comforting that way. So we've taken a lot of people that are first-time travelers with us, and they came back very satisfied and not afraid.
Well, go back to that. When you get on the boat, they give you a life preserver. When you get on a plane, why don't they give you a parachute?
Well, you actually have a flotation device under your seat.
Yeah, but that only works when you hit
They
the water.
should put a parachute on the plane. That'd be a
They
good
do for
idea.
the pilots.
Oh, that's
Listen, bro,
comforting, Dan. Real comforting.
if you're living right, you don't need to worry about it.
There you go,
There you
If
go.
you're
son.
living right,
Preach
you
it.
don't need to worry
Preach
about it.
it.
I mean, it's definitely the thrill of a lifetime, and it takes you to a different spiritual level that you never could get without.
I've watched some of the
knowing.
Gaither series, where a lot of the artists, and I believe y'all wrote in some of it too. wouldn't you?
Yeah, in
Yeah, we
Israel,
were there.
yeah, we
Yes,
went with them.
yeah.
Yeah.
That was beautiful. We're actually staying at a hotel called a 5-star resort called David Citadel, which is there, or David, is it called the
David Citadel.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's right there at that David Citadel where we did that videotaping for the Gaithers, so it's going to be a great experience. And there's other groups that are taking trips to Israel a lot next year. But you got to read the fine print. You got to know what you're getting when you go, and just like Mom said, we're together. Once we get there, we are with our people from 7:45 in the morning when we get on the buses till we go to after dinner.
And there's no hidden charges.
Or 8:15.
What?
Yeah.
Or 8:15. Or 8:20 if you're selling.
Whatever. Anyway, but yeah, go to theisaacs.com. That's 2 A's and an S on the end if you're going to look it up.
Thank you for letting us share that.
And you mentioned cruises. We are going on a cruise next February, and we're taking people on that. We're going to Ireland and Scotland this fall. We're taking only 50 people on that trip.
Are you worried about icebergs?
No. We
I don't
just
think we're going to be on any ships. We're actually flying over there too.
Oh, you're
so,
flying.
yeah.
Okay.
We do.
We
We
are
go
gonna
from Ireland
visit-
to Scotland.
Oh, it's a
Oh,
ferry.
well, it's a
It's a
ferry.
ferry.
Yeah. We are going to visit the Titanic Museum and go see some castles. A lot of
We're
people have
working
some
there.
Scottish. Yeah, a lot of people have Scottish Irish
Heritage.
blood, and so they're always wanting to go. And so we're going to do 3 concerts.
We're doing 2 concerts in Ireland, 1 in Scotland, and then 2 in Norway at the end of the trip. But the people that we go with, they're tour hosts too, and they said, why don't you bring some people with you? So we have a 10-day trip. They worked it out to Ireland and Scotland. And we fly over there, then we're together and do all the things together as well with them and the concerts too. So they can
We
look
get
that
to
up
see
to
one of the
us.
7 wonders of the world. the
Yeah.
Giant's
Giant's
Crossway.
Crossway.
Oh, that's beautiful.
And
Ireland
we're also
is
going to the
beautiful.
Stirling Castle in Scotland, which is very popular for Florida heritage.
It'll be a great
Beautiful.
trip.
So anyway,
Everyone can just go everywhere with us. We love it.
One final question,
Yes.
Mother. Is
Mother.
Becky usually this quiet?
Yes.
Okay.
she answered that for me.
You gotta watch the quiet ones though,
She
right?
answered that. No, she's not.
I am in these kind of settings and on
Oh,
stage,
my
but
Lord.
away from those kind of settings, I'm probably better than all of them about being a good friend.
Wow, he didn't say anything about friendship.
Friend.
He was talking about how much you talk all the time.
That's right. Keller.
You had that
I'm
mic.
better
We love
one-on-one.
each other.
I'm better one-on-one. They're better in a crowd.
Wow.
Okay.
That answers your question.
Yeah, we'll leave it there before we start a sibling fight here.
Join us next week on Family
If you
Feud.
know Dr. Phil, next time,
Well, we appreciate y'all taking time out of your schedule
Thank you
to
for
sit
Thank you.
down for a few minutes.
Appreciate it.
Thank you
Thank
for
you for what you
playing
do. for all Southern gospel music and all gospel music. Thank you.
We'll see you in Israel.
Maybe. Thank you.